Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day, with your host Justin P. and my MVP co-host Miss Shannon Finch. This is episode 80, everyone. We did 80 episodes, man. Yay! Wrapped it up, 80 episodes. We're 20 away from 100. Man, AJ started this thing last year. Unfortunately, he's been working a lot, so that's why y'all haven't seen him. He's still a part of the Talking Ravens all day, every day family. So I'm gonna get him on one of these days. We don't got a whole lot going on with his day, but yeah, he's still a part. Miss co-host man, Shannon, she got some good topics. So like and subscribe. For the audio version, I know the links are right there in the description, right along me and Shannon's social media platforms. So I can follow us there as well. Oh, so I'm gonna go ahead and let my co-host go ahead and get straight to it. She got a good show lined up for us. So
All right, so let's get right to it. Sunday was a rough day. I know a lot of us were upset about how things went. So, Justin, you give me your good, bad, and ugly from week three.
uh like I said in your group this morning, the good, I'm gonna go with Cal Hamilton. He played amazing. It's sad that his great performance got wasted in the L because he definitely would have got the game ball. So definitely Cal
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton. What else? Whatever good. Zay Flowers did pretty good. And I got to go with Lamar, although he had his the fumble and the taking a sack, whatever the case you want. He had his fair share ohs. But he kept us in this game with getting 100 on the ground, two touchdowns, and 3 for 200. So he accounted for 300 yards and 14 points. So it might not have been the prettiest how he done it, but without that, who knows?
You still there, Justin?
Yeah, sorry, but like I said, my stream is god awful. I'm about to look into some stuff. So Right, everywhere. Yeah, so sorry about that. Like it's a stream out. I'm gonna definitely have to send them a message because this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But Zach Moss, Peyton had the lead out team in sacks. That was just when we got Clowney and those guys. Yes, a Ajabo and all of them was hurt, but still, yeah, Kyle Hamilton should not be only a sack guy. And another bad with pass protection. Pass was horrible. Under this, even when they getting blitz, they was them guys, flipping guys around. They threw off a time, and it's everything short. So and then we missing two starters. So the the ugly penalties, of course, because that killed us. We could have put Justin Tucker a little closer, to make a more closer field goal. Uh, Couple drop pass, and the last but not least, he fumbled. So he don't fumble the football. We go up 14-0 easily. And then that whole game, we probably blow them out at that. But once he fumbled, they gave them life, and we just could not recover after that. That changed the game. In my opinion, people can say what they want game because momentum was gone. Like I was there, the whole stadium just got quiet. It was like somebody just sucked the life out of everything. So that definitely was the biggest ugly. But that was it. Go ahead, co-host.
All right. So for the good, obviously, it's Cal Hamilton, like you said. I did like some of Lamar's game. He everything that he did is the reason why we won. Like you said, as far as the points that we had, a lot of that came from Lamar. Stout was good. He did his job Sunday, and Duvernay had a good run that also put us in a position to possibly win a game. The bad was coaching, clock management. And you know how much I advocate for John Harbaugh, but it's totally unacceptable to still have clock management being an issue. To hear him even say, we know we should have called a timeout in that situation to let Zay Flowers know not the fair catch, and you didn't do that. It falls on nobody but you. So like coaching is just bad because at that point they should have known all situations that could have happened. And when you saw that the clock had more time, you should have immediately called a timeout. Not doing that just put us in a bad position. So coaching definitely gets the bad for me. I didn't like a lot of the blitzing that we were doing defensively, but I understand because of the injuries that we had, he probably felt like he had to do that. But in doing that, Minshew, he had a lot of success against the blitz, so sometimes you got to pick and choose when you want to do that because that was part of our issue with Wink. Like I was telling some Giants fans that about him, like, we all loved Wink in Baltimore, but after a while we got tired of him just constantly blitzing, like that's his scheme. And teams can exploit that. If you're a decent quarterback and smart, you know ways around that. And the ugly for me was we've been talking about fumbles for the past 3 weeks. I think we've had five fumbles, even if it was one was recovered in week two. That's still five fumbles. Or is it probably more than that? Because I think Lamar's had five, but we've had more than that because who was it? Drake that fumbled on Sunday. And like you said, that was a momentum shift. Like we have to protect the ball. I don't care who has it. Protect the ball. Anybody that has the ball, you have to protect it. So this fumbling the ball is just I don't understand that. Also, again, injuries. Another week in a row, we're talking about injuries. Every single week, we're losing guys, and after a while, it's going to be like, who's left? You're losing your starters, you're losing your backups, guys that you expected to contribute, guys that we thought was going to help make this a Super Bowl team. The injuries are definitely ugly, and last but not least, the referees. Now, I'm not one to blame the refs because I feel like we could have done enough to win that game. We had opportunity after opportunity to win that game. However, we all saw the calls that should have been made and the calls that weren't made. And had those calls been made, again, the Ravens would have been in a position to win those games. So that's ugly to me because regardless of what the NFL says about those calls, it's not going to change the fact that we didn't get the call. It's not going to change the fact that they didn't put us in a position to win that game. And again, if you do what you have to do before then you're not leaving it in the hands of the refs. But they were definitely part of the ugly on week 3.
Agreed, because like I hate that people try to say, "Oh, games can't come down to that." Penalties supposed to get called at any point in the game, first, second, third, fourth. Oh, it's the fourth quarter, so we're gonna keep up. No, it don't work
Right.
like that. That's not in the rule book. It don't work just because of the fourth quarter. If a motherfucker late hits somebody, that's still I get a call. Like what's the like?
Exactly.
Oh, he shouldn't. He should. They're called penalties for a reason because you're not supposed to be doing them. Because it's the
Mm-hmm.
fourth quarter. Oh, we're not gonna be the reason why they lose. So I'm gonna let it play. No, man, hell no. Like that, he held the hell out of him, man. And somebody made a valid point. You might have probably saw it too, Shannon. Somebody said if that was Odell Beckham, we would have got the call, and I felt that. I was like, yeah, that might be some truth to that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
because Zay's a rookie, didn't really. He still got to prove himself. So it's like it's crazy, man. Like, I saw that shit. I'm like, damn, he damn near tackled him.
The call should
So
have been made.
definitely, I agree
Period.
with you. Absolutely. I'm not a blame the ref guy either, but that situation, it's like you can't. You got to trust what your eyes saw in that situation. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our next topic. Go ahead, Shannon.
All right. Position grades. So we'll start with coaching. What do you give John Harbaugh and the coordinators?
Whew. A B only because we did hold him to 19 points, and we did start off hot. A couple mistakes killed it. So, like I said, Drake don't fumble the football. This probably like a 28-0 or 28-7 type game. So
Mm-hmm.
they can't control that. So that's why I'm gonna give them a B because it was some good things going. It's just like I said, execution killed momentum.
I'm gonna give them a C minus. For one, John Harbaugh, I spoke about that,
Hmm.
previously. The clock management, all of that's going to fall on you. A timeout should have been called. That was yet again a situation that we could have won that game. As far as the offense, I feel like when something is working, we need to stick with it. And I know everybody want Lamar to come into the season, and you think about all of the nice shiny weapons that we have, and you want to see him throw the ball and pass the ball and feed Zay Flowers and things of that nature. However, you have to go with how the game is going, and the fact that you say a person can account for 300 yards of your offense, but between them passing and running, I think that I don't want us to take away one of the greatest attributes that Lamar has. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't pass or he's not capable of that, but we all know that him being athletic is part of what makes him special. And I feel like in certain situations, we need to do that more. So that falls on the offensive coaching staff because why aren't we doing that? But then I also have to remember we talked about Lamar getting more control. So I kind of don't know who to blame in that sense because it could be Lamar making the call not to do certain things. So I don't know. But ultimately, if it's going to fall on the coaches to me until I think otherwise, because if you see something's not working as a coach, you should be like, okay, don't do that no more. And like I said with the defense, I understand why they were blitzing. We were losing guys. You needed to get pressure. It was really kept Kyle Hamilton wrecking havoc. However, sometimes you got to realize when to cut back on that because you're still being exposed. So and the biggest thing is not calling that timeout when you saw that it was more than 2 minutes on the clock. Like that right there was just I don't understand that. And then like I said, you know how I feel about Harbaugh, but to not call a timeout and then to say, yeah, after the game we all said to ourselves we should have called the timeout. But out of all of y'all on the sideline, nobody thought to call a timeout. So you gifted that to the Colts. Like they still had a timeout. That whatever. Yeah, the coaching was just like, like man, like, and I'm grading you on a curve. Like you said, it wasn't complete a mess, but no, they could have done things better, in my opinion, at certain points of the game to be like, this is what we're going to do. And I don't feel like any of them did that. Defense was okay. It was just the blitzing was just too much for me. All
I
right.
agree.
So what do you give? What do you give Lamar?
A B plus. It would have been an A, wasn't for like the fumbles and like the taking of the sacks and most stuff like that. So I'll give him a B plus.
Yeah, I'm giving him a B minus because of the fumbles and taking a sack. Like I said with Lamar, you in your 6th year now. At this point, you're gonna start running out of people to blame. I saw a lot of people talking about the offense doesn't look any different. Y'all told me it was gonna be different because Greg Roman was gone. Blah blah blah. All of that. At the end, we can't keep changing coaches and the quarterback is the quarterback. Certain things Lamar just has to do better. You got to know when to throw the ball away. You got to know when not to take sacks. You have to hold on to the ball. Like
Absolutely.
you can't do that. So for that reason, I'll give him a B minus. All right. So what do you give the running backs?
That's a fair grade. We're not too far off on that.
Yeah.
Man. Let's see. Let's see, man. We really the ground game wasn't really there. Lamar was the ground game, so that should tell you everything you need to know. I know he handed the ball
Look,
that way better
and
last week
I
with
just
the
saw
same O
I
line.
just saw that Lamar is top five. He's five, the fifth top rusher in the league right now. The other four running backs, and he's number five. And he probably got a lot of that Sunday.
That should and that should tell you everything you need to know right there. Oh yeah, so get a
Exactly.
C, man. Like I said, they did okay at times, but if they'd have did a whole lot better, because no matter what, we couldn't run the clock out or run the clock down. They getting hit in the bad field and stuff. Like they had like Melvin Gordon had one little run. I think Gus had one run, but they needed more consistency out of that. And Drake had okay run then. He fumbles on the catch, so yeah, we can. They definitely get a C. I'm sorry.
A C for me as well. You can give him a pass. Like Drake just got here. He literally just came in this week. Well, last week when we had the injury. But you still have to protect the ball. Like you're a veteran. You know what it is. You can't give up. You can't cough up the money. You can't. And that just shifted the momentum. We
Get
can
it
maybe you could put some of it on. You could put some of it on the offensive line, maybe if you want to. But the running backs didn't move
right.
me, and I just feel like that was a game that we should have been running the ball, as we talked about on Thursday, with the weather playing a factor. And you were outside. I was at the stadium as
Hmm.
well at a tailgating event. It was raining majority of the day, and then when it wasn't raining, it was misty. So it was always something. I wish we could have got more from the run game because that would have been a different game. But I'll definitely just give them a C. All right. So what do you give the
Okay,
offensive
we're on the
line?
same page. Oh Lord, gotta give them an F. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I've never done this before. I gotta give him an F. Because Buckner, we know what he can bring to the table. I watched him in college, but we like Quiddy Pay and Samson, Akbar, and all them other guys look like all world, look like the White Freeney and Mathis out there. Like,
Hmm.
Lamar, by time, like he had to hurry up and get it out quick. So all them little 4 yard passes he had to throw this. He didn't want to throw that. He had to get it out of his hands because we just could not hold. Morgan Moses was getting beat. The car was getting beat. Sam Mustafa snapping the ball. Yeah, they get a C. The only one that played good on the offensive line was Kevin Zeitler. Everybody else played horrible. So F for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them a D because we were just talking about the running backs. You gotta have some duds up front on both sides, the offensive line and the defensive line. And like you said, they had everybody looking, even me, like looking at the Colts defense, the front seven, like who are that? You like who is it? We gave them props when we talked about them on Thursday, but it was like you said, it looked like it was some Hall of Famers out there. So yeah, they get a D, and it's very unfortunate because last week we were speaking so highly of them. So for you to come out this week and have a showing like that, it's like, it's disappointing. But I'll give them a D. So what do you give the Titans?
I give them a C because Andrews did make some plays. Likely did catch the ball early. He dropped one early and later in the game, but Andrews was getting held, so they did enough. It could have been more, but like I said, the bad offensive line play kind of hurt that, and then some situational play calling.
Hmm.
They should have them two should have definitely got featured a little more. Like I get it, we got all these shiny receivers, but don't forget Your only All Pro outside Lamar on offense in the skill position is Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
You can't just cancel him out because you got all these receivers. You got to still feed. Mark can know this. He just had two tight ends. Well, one tight end that just get drafted, another one this year that's going to go in the first round. Was it? So he know how to use tight ends. So we got to do a better
Hmm.
job of designing stuff for them. So I see only because of lack of opportunities.
Yeah, I was going to say C as well because it wasn't much to judge them on. I mean, like you said, it was some big catches, some things that could have been a catch that could have been changed the game. But it wasn't anything to write home about. But like you said, it's really not no fault of their own. So I'll give them a C as well. And what do you rate the
Okay.
wide receivers?
I give them a D. Only because the only one that got open quick was Zeddy. He was the only one. Anybody else, Bateman, and all them, they took too long to get open. When you see his offensive line issues, you got Aguilar did okay. He started making some catches in the fourth quarter, but Zay was the only one that could consistently get open. So for that, I gotta give him a D.
Yeah, I give them a D as well. It wasn't anything to write home about. But also, and that's the thing about it, this is like a group project, right? Because if the offensive line was better, then maybe things could have been better in the passing game. Like if, like I said, if Lamar doesn't have time to get the ball to them, then it's like it's not like a lot of I know a lot of people were talking about the short passes and not, going down the field with Lamar not going down the field. I don't know if he really has the time to. So it's unfortunate for like the tight ends and the wide receivers because their success is really dependent on everybody else on the team, the quarterback, the offensive line. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a tough week for them. But yeah, I'll give them a D as well. So we can move over to the defense. What grade do you give the defensive line?
Uh, let's see, because they like Zach Moss, look like Marshall Falk out there. So, but they did get pressure. They did push the pocket and got some So I'll give him a C. I don't know if you heard me. I know it was lagging, but yeah, I'll give him a C.
Yeah, and I'll give
Stop.
them a
So I'm
C
gonna go
as
with a C.
I'll give them a C as well. Because I felt like for the past couple of weeks we were talking about how well they were against stopping a run, and then like you said, you come in on Sunday and it's like you let somebody who you could have slowed down again look like a Hall of Famer. So that was a problem for me. But like you said, it was some good points to it. Not necessarily a failing grade, but it was like, like it was okay. Again, we did enough to win the game, but they could have been better, definitely. So, what grade do you give the linebackers, pass rushers, and middle
Yeah.
linebackers?
C. I'm being nice. Only because the
Hmm.
reason why they get a C, it would have been a D, but Roquan and Queen, they had an okay game outside a couple. Because the runs was more
Okay.
so on the outside linebackers. They wasn't setting the edge. They
Hmm.
kept slicing inside
And
when they
yeah.
supposed to be outside, trying to chase stuff down. And he was bouncing out. He didn't really bust nothing up the
Hmm.
middle. Everything was more so to the edge and then outside and off tackle.
Hmm.
That's the edge rushers. Like Queen and Roquan are making tackles 15, 10, 15 yards at the field. You know what I mean? So they were
Hmm.
getting to the ball. It's just that the edge rushers didn't do their job. So I'm gonna give them a C. Because Kyle Hamilton should not, like I said, should not be your leading sacker. It just should not happen.
And that's exactly. I'm with you on that. A C. Like it could have been better. And we keep talking about the middle linebackers because they are the best part of the defense at this point. I mean, they hold it down. They do their job. Nobody's perfect, but I'll give them a C because if it wasn't for them, it may have been less than that. But they'll definitely get a C. Could have been better, like you said. It was more or less on the outside. Um, Again, we have another injury there, so we're seeing Clowney more than we probably hoped to because we didn't really want to have him have to be featured as much as he's been featured in the past 3 weeks. But it is what it is. When people start getting hurt, you got to play a little bit more. So yeah, I'll give them a C as well.
Hopefully they sign Cal Van Noy, and that'll help a lot. But we'll see.
Yeah, I see. I think well, well, they did bring him in, so hopefully they do sign him because we could use him.
Absolutely.
And then, last but not least, what grade do you give the secondary cornerbacks and the safeties?
All in all, I gotta give them a B because they didn't give up no touchdown passes. So what I mean. So that's good. They did their thing. No, the touchdown pass they caught it was to a running back. Quinn got beat, so that's not on them. So that's not on the secondary. They did good. Michael Pittman had one good catch, which was a great catch. He's 6'5", so he's gonna, it was just his God given size and ability that helped to make the play. It was perfect coverage by Stevens and there was Gino. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Gardner knew he was sick. I got a big target, so I'm gonna throw it up, and he gonna basically out rebound both of them. They were in position, like I said. Nobody had a serious big game, and Josh Downs had a couple of catches, but it was like short eating minutes, so he didn't like beat them down the field. So I'll give them a
Mm-hmm.
B.
And I give them a B as well. I mean, with injuries, the Marlon Humphrey, you have Marcus Williams go out, you have guys just keep going out, and they just continue to stand strong. You know what I mean? So I can't rate them anything lower than a B. Definitely give them a B as well.
All right.
All right, so let's talk about a couple of things. Now, the Ravens offense have been the talk of the national media, since Sunday, as if they didn't watch last week, because I feel like the things they're saying now y'all weren't saying last week. So I'm going to ask
Mm-hmm.
you, are you concerned that the Ravens does not have an identity right now offensively?
Not really concerned, but it definitely has you like just like all right, Sometimes an identity can be like a oversay, because for example, the Chiefs are passing team, so to say, right?
Hmm.
So to say, right? For Holmes,
Right.
it's gonna be
Hmm.
games where they're gonna come out and run the football because teams are gonna play pass defense, two safeties high, backing everybody up, and now Andy Reid gonna say, you know what, we're gonna run the football. Peyton Manning should never go up there. He see anybody so scared to get beat over the top by Marvin Reggie, and Reggie Edgerrin James, and all of them had big, and Dominic Rose had big running lanes. So it all depends.
Hmm.
It's that identity that it get kind of overused with other works. If
Hmm.
the pass is there, you pass. The run is there, is run. You know what I mean? And the identity thing, that's just like that's just a cool thing to say. Because like I said, whatever works, you're gonna. That's why the Bills have trouble getting to the Super Bowl. Because remember, they're a passing team. Throw the ball around the yard. It
Right.
ain't cold outside.
Right.
And the weather won't allow you to do that. They can't run the ball between the tackles. So whatever works, works. So I don't think it's more so than identity. I think we still should run the football, but in this league, you're definitely going to have to pass the football. So I can't get mad at Todd Monken for wanting to develop that, because come January and February, teams are going to put 9, 10 in the box. So you want to be able to
Hmm.
throw it over their head. So far, we have don't been doing a good job of it. It's just Sunday, with the weather and the offensive line being banged up, it kind of like, it kind of didn't go into our favor. So it's making people like hit the panic button a little too soon. But it doesn't concern
Hmm.
me, to answer your question. Sean.
Yeah, I'm not concerned either. As we talked about it in the off season, when we talked about what were our expectations of the offense, one thing that I said was I expected growing pains. So with 3 weeks into the season, this is what growing pains look like. What week one we gave them the rust excuse because main guys didn't play in preseason, weren't practicing. Week two, we got a peek of what it could look like. We talked about how much we loved how many people were involved offensively. We saw what it could be. In week three, we saw more of a I don't know kind of thing. And what you said, like we have to get the passing game working. I agree. I think that that's very important. I just think that it's hard to do that when you don't have your guys, right? Like not having Ronnie Stanley and not having Linderbaum up front, that hurts us off top because those are your starters and important positions on the offensive line. If you can't pass protect, how are you going to pass the ball? So then, yes, then we can say, well, Lamar needs to
Absolutely.
get rid of the ball. Then we can say Lamar needs to get rid of the ball quicker. But then we need to also say, well, wide receivers need to get open, do a better job of getting open. You know what I mean? It kind of all goes hand in hand. What I will say is that much as I love Zay Flowers, I would love to see them get Bateman more involved. I would.
I
Because
agree.
they're,
I
I
agree.
just,
I
I
agree.
just feel like he deserves to have a bigger role on this team. We'll never know what he can be if we just constantly force it to Zay. But I also understand situational football, and in a lot of those situations, particularly on Sunday, we had to do the short routes. You know, we had to get it to Zay, and that's just what it was. Um, but like going into next week against the Browns, I believe we're playing the Browns. I would just like to see more involvement, like with Bateman. You know, I mean, because either way, like when Odell comes back, you know, we're going to have to get him involved. And if you get Bateman involved, then it's going to open things up for everybody else on the field, particularly if he's producing. So overall, I'm not concerned because I expected these growing pains. I just don't want to feel like we're forcing things to Zay. You know what I mean? And he's great. He's doing great at what we need him to do for us. But I do feel like we still have other guys that we need to get involved. And I hope that during the week, Munkin and Harbaugh and everybody are thinking about ways to feature Bateman more because he deserves that.
No doubt. And he not complaining. He just playing ball. So for him, he kind of feel like in his mind he don't really have the right to complain because his availability has been has been shot. So he's just he gonna play and see if he can make it through a whole season
Right.
before because he gonna probably think, well, so how can I complain about the ball and I ain't played a full season yet. So so he's gonna just keep going out there work. We know his time is coming. Debateman type game is gonna come. I don't know who gets who, but it's gonna be those days. It's gonna be his day. That's why I say go by whoever day it was. Like don't try to force nobody the ball, cause that's when you get yourself in trouble. Teams key in on you like that. Like Zay,
Mm-hmm.
he been doing this thing. Aguilar had a big day. What I mean? It might be an OBJ 1 week. It might be Duvernay.
Right.
Just go with the high hat every shit. Whoever getting open the most, go ahead. So yeah, I think he just he slowly he know he gonna get involved. He just so happy that that he's not been injured, been hit with the injured bug. So he's not gonna really trip off, getting the football. Not just now, any later on the season, maybe right now he's just happy to be out there and not hurt. But
Yeah, I agree.
one thing I want to say before we go to the next topic is
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaugh practicing. I know you keep up with that stuff. I be trying to.
I haven't I haven't seen it yet. They haven't said it this week yet if they're practicing. I haven't seen anything about it.
We do. We gonna need it, man, because we got two bloodhounds up in Cleveland waiting. And we don't need
Mm-hmm.
Lamar getting hurt because we can't block
Yeah.
Miles Garrett and Jazarius Smith him, and they fall on him or anything happen or he try to get away. Anything. Just we don't need that. So Pat will probably be back
Mm-hmm.
there heavily Sunday, in my opinion. All right,
Yeah.
next topic. Go ahead, co.
All right. So again, Sunday. Excuse me. Again, Sunday we dealt with more injuries. I talked about that with the good, bad, and ugly. So my question for you, because we kind of touched on this before last week, but with the injuries, do you think that it's bad luck or is it a strength and conditioning issue?
At this point, it's bad luck, Shannon, because we Steve Saunders is gone. So it's like, what more you want? What you want to do every year? Get a hire new strength and conditioning coach? It's probably
Mm-hmm.
stuff they got to probably do or not do in the off season. Maybe let your body rest a little bit. Don't train every single day, or get more massages or something like that, or like getting treat getting the ice tub a little
Take
bit
care of your
more. But
body.
it's little
Yeah.
remedies they can do like that. But I just think it's bad luck. Yeah, it's just because it's like at this point, it's like, come on, now, this been going on. And I said this the other day in a space. Some people agree with me, and some people got a little upset. It's just fine. I think it's still the Ray Rice curse. Like I just think it do. Because granted, whether anybody feel who's right or wrong, whatever, we're not lawyers. But I'm just saying, ever since that situation, and how the Ravens like handled it, we've been kind of snake bitten injuries. Because they kind of low key throw him to the wolves. He told the truth. He manned up to it. He didn't lie about nothing. And they're just like, we got your back. We got your back. Then when TMZ did what they did, they saved face and just throw him under the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the football guys kind of like was like kind of stuck it towards a little bit for injury wise since then. But I know he's in good graces with the organization now and all that good stuff. I get it, but I just think it's still like that little black cat still running around.
Yeah, that's what and it's funny you say that because I always say that too. Like the way they handled that Ray Rice situation just wasn't right, and until they made it right with him, I didn't think that things were going to be right for us because it really didn't call for all of that. And I also use the black cat term like it's some sort of black cat walking around because we just can't shake it. Um, but I think it's bad luck, like you said. Like I don't necessarily think that it has anything to do with the strength and conditioning coach because my thing is this: if we're going to blame the strength and conditioning coach, now we're going to have to also start questioning these guys and what they're doing in the off season and in their downtime and when they're not at the facility. Because you're not telling me that every single thing that occurs to them is happening because of whatever they're doing at the Ravens facility. Like everybody is not getting hurt. It's certain people that's getting hurt. And outside of that, a lot of the injuries like are happening in freak situations, like in piles and stuff like that. People falling on your legs. What do the strength and conditioning coach got to do with that? You know what I mean? So,
No, right,
like
right.
I saw Bateman. They said Bateman had a hamstring injury on Sunday. You know that also can come from the fact that you didn't do a lot of practicing over the summer in the off season because you was trying to heal from your foot surgery. So when you come back and you're trying to work your way back, you straining your muscles a little bit. You might pull something. That's not a strength and conditioning coach issue. You know, I know a lot of people said, well, Harbaugh got rid of one guy and promoted another guy. Okay, well, Harbaugh always promotes within for the most part. It's very rare that he goes out and gets a coach for anything. So, okay, he did that. But if we're going to keep blaming the coaches, at what point do you hold the players accountable? Because again, we don't know what they do in their spare time. We don't know if they're taking care of their bodies. You know what I mean? So, if we're going to blame the strength and conditioning coaches, then I think that it might be fair to start questioning these guys and what they're doing in their spare time. So if we don't want to question the players, then let's just leave that as bad luck. You know, it's very unfortunate. Luckily, luckily, we don't have too many injuries that are like season ending. There are some that are a couple of weeks, they week to week. We expect them to be back maybe after week 8 or later in the season. Like John Harbaugh said this week, we have some guys coming back. That's the good news. Bad news is some guys won't be coming back for a couple of weeks. You know, but hopefully we can just get it together. But I just feel like don't go blaming the strength and conditioning coaches if you also don't want to open up the door to what these guys might be doing in their spare time because we don't know. It's easy to blame the organization, you know, for people getting hurt. But when you look at it, like I said, a lot of it is just fluky. Somebody fall on your legs, what you gonna do about that? You know, we saw
Yeah,
the Colts player, and that's another thing that made me mad about Sunday. While I know we don't have no duds on this team, when the Colts player grabbed Lamar's leg and was holding him up in the air, I didn't see anybody come defend him. I didn't, you know, like that's a reason to come over and show. I mean, that might have been a penalty, but who defended Lamar in that situation? Now let's say
facts, facts.
Lamar ankle got messed up because the way the guy grabbed his foot. That's the strength and conditioning coach fault? No. You know what I mean? So I don't think that we should blame them because we don't really know what's. I think they're the easiest people to blame. So if you don't want to start questioning the guys and what they're doing in their spare time, let's not blame it on the strength and conditioning coach. I just think it's bad luck. I do.
Agreed, agreed, agreed. All right, final topic of the night.
Now we're talking about injuries again. And we have, I believe Tyron Wallace went on IR. I don't even know what happened to him. So it's like
No, he
every
fell off.
gap,
He
every
fell off. He
game,
fell off.
huh?
But he fell off the bench.
I don't know.
I
That's
said,
what I
but did
said.
he
I was
fall
like,
off the
why?
bench? Like, I'm like, what the hell?
That's what I said. When I said he was on IR, I'm like, when? What happened? I don't know. So with all of that going on, guys are going down left and right. Are you concerned about the healthy guys being overworked? Like I saw, like
Abs-
Worley play defense and special teams. He played like 100 snaps. I think they said that's crazy.
yes, yes, because you got to be. You'll be fooling yourself. If you didn't say yes, yeah. Because at the end of the day, yeah, because the bodies can only take for so much. You know what I'm saying? They're not
Right.
robots. They're not machines. They're not. It's not a goddamn movie or video game. Like these are human people
Mm-hmm.
putting their bodies on the line, and the human body can only take so much punishment.
Yeah.
So so definitely concerned. Like like I said, we hopefully we gotta get some guys back. Cause not man, you gonna be wearing out your running backs, your O line, your defensive line. Like you know what I mean. Like our pass, you think our pass rush is like doing that now? Wait till they got dead legs.
Right.
Wait till they got dead legs and bro and they and can barely stand and can barely get in a 3 point stance. Wait till you see that. Like the noodle legs. Wait till they get that. Then the quarterback's gonna have 25 years to throw the ball. Or your
Yeah.
DBs get noodle legs. That's even worse because now that's touchdowns getting put on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely, yeah, Shannon, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm concerned as well. When I was looking at the article they wrote about the snap count, I was like, what the hell? Like it's one thing to have somebody play special teams and maybe come in rotational defensively, but when I gotta play defense because I have to because guys are down, and then also play special teams because that's my spot, and I got 100 snaps, like what the hell? And then like we talked about with Clowney earlier, I don't think any of us expected him to come in and be like the featured pass rusher, but he is. Like they showed some
Right.
stats. He's tied for first for everything. He's tied for first for two things, and he's second for I think sacks. But I'm like, we didn't even expect him to have to do that, and it's like, but we need you to do it because of all of the injuries that we have going on. So it's very unfortunate. I just hope to get some guys back because we're going to need like, and I hate to say this because good thing that it's happening now because we hope to get these guys back later when we really need them and need to be making a push. And Sunday's game, with every negative thing that we said today, it was still a winnable game. We could have won that game, and then we might be having a different conversation. Good teams finds ways to win those games. We just had a bad day on Sunday, and ultimately the refs didn't help in the end. But I do fear that guys are going to be overworked. It's a little concerning.
Got you, Reg. Thank y'all for chiming in. Brandon Bazel. Man, y'all gotta come a little early. That way we can really get to the comments. But oh man, we great show, Shannon. Great show as usual, man. Fire topics. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
I do. I want to say rest in peace to Brooks Robinson, aka Mr. Oreo, the best
I
third
just heard
baseman
about that.
ever.
Yeah.
Definitely sorry to hear about his passing.
Hmm.
I hope that this helps the Orioles. Because we're supposed if we win, I think 3 games, we can possibly win the division. We've already clinched a playoff spot. So let's go ahead and let's do it for Brooks. But I was
Hmm.
definitely sad to hear about that news today. But go O's, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And they definitely got a shot to clinch the 100 win mark. Something they haven't done in a very long time. So definitely, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's win it for Brooke. Hopefully, this will be a little added, little motivation to go do y'all thing in the playoffs and bring home that championship. It's been almost 40 years, so it's
Yeah.
time. It's time to bring home another championship, yeah, to Charm
Mm-hmm.
City in baseball. Oh, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, Reyes, Brandon Barzell, Brandon from Arkansas. Oh man, appreciate your support. Y'all know what to say. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff like that. And make sure y'all trade. Y'all know what trade mean. Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host Justin P, my MVP co-host Miss Shannon Finch. We'll be back Thursday doing a recap. I'll be having some good stuff lined up. Super Data Mailman be on here. If anybody else, decides to hop on, y'all just stay tuned. Yeah, we always got something up our sleeve. So love y'all guys. Have an amazing Tuesday, and y'all out.
Good night. Bye, Justin.
Bye, Shannon.